Hello, welcome back to the channel. You don't know how excited I am about this. What we're going to talk about is the case of Joe Metheny, also known as the cannibal, the Hamburger killer. So Joe Metheny was born in 1955 in Maryland. To be specific, he was born in Baltimore, Maryland. Joe's father left when he was 6 years old. So Joe's mother was the one to look after him and his 5 siblings. He was one of 6, so they had a pretty big family. So later on in life, Joe falsely claimed that his mother had died, but she hadn't. He claimed that he was abused as a child by his mother. They were neglected, him and his siblings were neglected, while she worked double shifts. She had 3 different jobs and she worked double shifts. Now obviously Joe Metheny's mother wasn't dead and she denied these allegations basically. She said that they pretty much lived in a good home. Yeah, she worked 3 different jobs, but she was doing the best and they had everything that they needed. Anyway, in 1973, Joe Metheny was 18 years old and he joined the army. He said that he served in Vietnam, but by that time, all American involvement in Vietnam had been stopped. His mother said that he was in Germany serving a tour in Germany. So we're not 100% where he was. That's okay. While Joe was in the army, this is believed to be where he got addicted to drugs. And his mother said that he would contact her not very often and she blamed it on the drugs. Anyway, when he came out of the army, Joe Metheny spent most of his time in bars and he lived with loads of different bands of homeless men in makeshift camps. He was also addicted to crack cocaine, heroin, and obviously his liquor, his alcohol. Joe, at this point, even though he was in so much of a downward slide on his life, did actually have a steady job that he went to as a forklift truck driver. I can't speak today. The people that worked with him described him as intelligent, well-spoken, and very well-mannered. This was in the This man, you can see on the photos that I've shown you, he's quite big, like big boned and big tall. He's 6'1" and large framed. That's how he was described. Skip forward a bit to 1994, where these murders began. So in July of 1994, Metheny was at work. He was doing his forklift driving and blah blah blah, and then he got off work and went home as usual, like he would always do. But when he got home, he discovered that everything was gone. His wife had gone and his 6-year-old son had gone. She had taken everything, including his 6-year-old son. So that's a bit devastating for anybody. No matter what situation that you're in, it's devastating. So Joe Metheny said that this woman was addicted to crack cocaine anyway, and he didn't care if it was her that was gone. But the fact that she took his 6-year-old son made him really angry. There was no way, he said, this is in a statement that he made, there was no way that he could go and get his son from the social services and claim him back because of his criminal past. So Joe Metheny went out, find them himself. So his son was in the social services and he had been taken. There was no way of getting him back. So Joe wanted revenge. So he went looking for them. Joe couldn't find any sign of them anywhere until 6 months later, when somebody had seen his wife under the bridge with some asshole, as he would call him. As he would call them. It says it in his statement. So he went to this bridge and saw the 2 people that his wife would get high with. They were passed out on this stinky mattress and he just saw red and killed them. He chopped them up, basically. Killed them and chopped them up. Also on that same night, he lured. He managed to coax a lady of the night down there who was also a drug addict. He managed to coax her down there. He got her high and was trying to get information out of her as to where his wife was, because he thought that she would know. This is a direct quote from his testimony, well, his confession basically. And he said, "I got her high and was trying to get information out of her about my old lady's whereabouts. She acted like she didn't know, so I beat the hell out of her, raped her ass, and then killed her. I put her in some bushes and went and coaxed," well, he doesn't say coax, but I can't say lured properly. Lured the second bitch down there. So because this woman was acting like she didn't know anything, he killed her also, and then went on and got another person. So that's 3 people he's killed already. And he did exactly the same to this other girl. So he's killed the 2 people on the mattress who his wife would get high with. He's killed a lady of the night, and he's killed another lady of the night. And he'd beaten them to death, sexually assaulted them, and thrown them in bushes. But when he was just throwing this second lady into the bushes, Joe noticed that he was being watched. There was a man on the river, on his boat, or at the side of the river, pond, whatever, fishing. And he was looking straight at Joe, looking what he was doing. Joe wasn't happy about this, so he obviously picked up a pipe and went and bludgeoned this man to death. Joe said that this man was quite old. So Joe weighed these 3 bodies down with rocks and put them in the river. He even commented that that was a very busy night for him, with 5 murders in 7 hours. So that is quite a busy night. When he later came to confess to these murders, because he got arrested for them, okay? He got arrested for these murders, but when he confessed to them and he took the police to where the bodies were, the police did a search and they couldn't find anything. It got thrown out of court because there wasn't enough evidence for them to charge him. They couldn't find the bodies. Even though Joe took them to where they were, he said they disappeared. So unless they got loose from the rocks or what, we don't know. But they weren't there when the police searched. So Joe was set free. He went back to his old boss at the truck driver place and forklift truck, I can't speak. So he went back to his old boss at the fork truck place and asked for his job back. He even said that he would basically be security for this whole land, because it was quite a big massive land, and it was at a dead end. So his boss said, "Yeah, all right then," and gave him the keys to the front gate. So he had his old job back, he had somewhere to stay, so he was a happy chappy. Joe, in his statement, said it was very isolated and it was perfect for what he wanted to do. So he was already planning on killing again. Yeah. So anyway, he then goes on to do this. He coaxes two more ladies of the night. Prostitutes. Not sure what I can call them. He coaxes 2 more women, basically, who were selling their body, up to his trailer, and he killed them. So he butchered these 2 women, these 2 unsuspecting women who sell their bodies, and he chops them up and he puts all their body parts, their meats, whatever, he chops them up so much so and puts them in Tupperware tubs in his freezer. So he builds quite a good stock up of meat. Can you imagine how much meat a human body has got? 2 grown-ass women were chopped up and put in his freezer. Oof. Over the next couple of weeks, Joe opened up a burger van. It sold hot sandwiches and all sorts. And he would sell beef and pork sandwiches and burgers and whatnot. And he would sell these sandwiches to the truck drivers, to the lorry drivers that came through for their dinner and whatnot. So he was making a profit, he was making some money. Plot twist, these burgers did not only contain pork and beef, they contained the contents of his freezer. They contained these chopped up bodies. And he said they were delicious. Everybody loved them. Unbeknownst to them, they were eating human beings. So, yeah. Joe said that the human body tastes very much like pork, and if you mix it in with pork, like animal pork, you wouldn't know the difference. Anyway, it was going good for a couple of weeks, and until Joe started running out of his special meat, as he called it. So he lured another lady to his trailer, and he says he ripped her clothes off and started beating her, and she was screaming. Obviously, she was screaming. She had been coaxed to this place thinking that she was going to get something nice, and he ripped her clothes off and started beating her up. But Joe says it didn't matter if she screamed because it was so isolated, nobody knew. So he turns his back for a minute because he's going to get something. So he turns his back, and even though she's very, very injured, she manages to escape. So Joe's shouting after her, thinking, well, she's never going to get over that fence, because the fence was so tall and it had barbed wire on the top. But she got over it because it was a pallet company, and these pallets were piled up high. So she managed to climb these pallets and get over. She jumps over and went straight to the police. And when the police arrived, Joe was just stood there at his trailer and accepted the fact that he has been caught and he's going to jail. Now, when Joe got took to jail, he obviously confessed to everything. And he says that he committed 13 murders altogether, but he only got charged for 2 because they couldn't find any evidence of the other 11. So he got 50 years for the attempted murder of the lady who actually went to the police, and he got 2 consecutive life sentences. One was a life sentence and one was a death sentence to start with. That death sentence got overturned and turned into a life without parole because he said he wanted to die, that he wanted them to kill him. So anyway, in 1995, Joe was found dead in his cell. Can you imagine? I feel sorry. Obviously, I feel sorry for the victims, but I also feel sorry for all those people that he fed those bodies to. It's a perfect crime, really. Because if someone's going to eat those bodies, there's not really going to be much left of them to find. So, anyway guys, that's it from me. If you liked this video, please give it a like. Please subscribe, as I will be uploading every Tuesday with a true crime story. If you have any suggestions for what crimes you want me to investigate or tell you about, then please comment down below. All our contact information is down below, so you can go ahead and you can email us, you can contact us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, whichever. Thanks so much for watching. Please subscribe and I'll see you all later.